Hello everyone, this is chapter 6 part 2. In this part we'll be talking about the most important elasticity. It's called price elasticity of demand, and we will talk about the midpoint formula, the formula with which we'll be using to calculate price elasticity of demand. Okay, let's get started. Price elasticity of demand. I'm going to put a star here for the most important elasticity. It quantifies the law of demand. Okay, so what does that mean? It measures the responsiveness in the quantity demanded to a change in price. Okay, how does it do it actually? It's measured by dividing the percentage change in quantity demanded of the product by the percentage change in price of the product. So let me write down the price elasticity of demand formula. Here's the epsilon, Greek letter epsilon for elasticity, D for demand. It's the percentage change in quantity demanded. You divide this by percentage change in price of the product. We're talking about the same product here. Okay, so if I give you a question example, okay, without any calculations, let's say Emily, I'm just making it up, Emily with one L, Emily sells cookies, okay, she increased the price by let's say 10%, and she experienced quantity demanded going down by 50%. Okay, what's the price elasticity of demand? Very simple. This is how we do. Percentage change in quantity demanded. It is 50, but because it went down, you need to have a negative sign, negative 50%. Divided by percentage change in price. Price, she increased it, so it's a positive 10%. Okay, 50% negative 0.5, 50% divided by positive 0.1. So her price elasticity of demand is negative 5. Do you know what this means? This means that 1% increase in price drops quantity demanded for cookies by 5 percentage points. That's a huge response, okay? So if you are, already given these percentage changes, okay, price has increased 10%, quantity has gone down 50%, it's super easy to calculate price elasticity of demand. So what happens, I'm going to get rid of all of these, you have to calculate it. So what happens, you have to calculate, you're going to use the following formula, and price elasticity of demand tells you what happens to quantity demanded when price goes up by 1 percentage point. We are going to use something called the midpoint formula, okay? So how do we normally calculate percentage change, regular percentage change formula? Let's say quantity is going up from QD1 to QD2, okay? So normally percentage change in Q quantity demanded would be final amount minus initial amount divided by initial amount times 100 if you want to see a full number, not a fraction, right? However, we can't use this formula. We can't use the regular. Don't use, I'm going to write it down. Don't use the regular percent change formula. Why? Because regular percent change formula, so this is the demand curve price, quantity demanded, actually gives you different number if you're moving from point A to B versus B to A. However, you want to have a identical elasticity whenever you're moving A to B to B to A on the same segment. But if you use this guy to calculate your percentage changes, you're in trouble. Okay. So what's the formula? It's called the midpoint formula. It goes like this. Don't be scared, okay? You may be scared right now. Here how it works. Price elasticity of demand. Again, as we said it, percentage change in quantity demanded, percentage change in price. So what we do is final quantity minus initial quantity, exactly as the same as the previous formula. Instead of dividing by the initial value of quantity demanded, you just find their average, initial final, their average, add them up, divide by 2. Okay, so that's your new percent change formula. For the percent change in price, final price, P2 minus initial price, divide by their average. That's it. And if you go one more step, you can actually eliminate these 2's. If you have the same thing in the denominator, you can get rid of them. So it formula becomes like this, okay? So keep it in mind to use this formula. Caveat or warning, don't use regular percentage change formula because that's not going to give you reliable values. Okay, so let's see part 3. In part 3, we'll be practicing how to calculate this price elasticity of demand. Okay.